Welcome back to Dum Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never role-played before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukkake, your host. The Thiefies are underway, and our heroes hope to make Bobbert the Thieves Guild champion for Fight Night. But will Chaz really give them the name of the current champion? Is Bobbert's new persona, the Forsaken, popular enough to be named his replacement? Will Ellen and Bryn ever talk about being sisters already? Find out next on Dum Dums and Dragons.
I point over to Three Clover and say, "That's the fox right there."
Not my t-shirt sales!
We were chatting up at the blackjack table and he let it slip.
Chaz looks at Three Clover and it kind of gives you like an incredulous like, really? Him?
Master of disguise. Think about it.
Is
Who
this
would
true,
think?
Bryn?
Yes.
Well, fair enough. He kind of nods to a couple of the bouncers who step forward. They walk over and Three Clover's like, "Oh, hey guys, you here to see the Forsaken too? We just got this great portrait." One of them reaches out, grabs his icon, and crushes it. As he does, the blur falls away, and you recognize a man you've met in alleyways before and whose teeth you may have taken on 2 occasions. And he's like, looks like my thing dropped. And then one of them sucker punches him in the gut. The other one black bags him, and they drag him off the floor. And Chaz is like, well, that's taken care of.
And I yell after the bouncers, "I expect you motherfuckers to buy 6 t-shirts because he was going to."
One of them turns back to you, glaring, but then undoes 2 buttons of his vest and shows that he's wearing one.
"You're good by me, buddy. I'll buy you a drink later."
"You wake me up inside," he says, and then continues to carry off poor old Goldtooth.
I cover Slaughter Gore's ears so it doesn't spray darkness everywhere.
Yep.
I really should have chosen a different catchphrase.
Satisfied with that, Chaz gives you the name of the Thieves Guild fighter. You recognize the name. He's a 2-hand weapon fighter. He's pretty proficient, but you think Bobbert could probably take him in a fight. You know that he's fond of ladies of the night and is likely in the brothel area right now.
Well, hold on. I just want to make sure that we're all tracking the same thing. He is going to kick my ass, and we're going to replace him with Bobbert. That's still the plan, right?
Yeah, he loves hookers, and
Okay.
he needs to hate you.
That's
and
fine.
then we're good.
I think as Chaz walks off, I give Bryn a little nudge and say, "I think I know who the real fox is, and your secret's safe with me."
What secret?
Cool. Okay.
The name of the Thieves Guild fighter is Kalos Ray. Bryn, you've worked a few jobs with this guy. There's a reason that they would choose him to be the pit fighter, but he's always a pain in the ass on jobs because he's a bit of a wild card and has the tendency to kind of fly off the handle. So you've pretty much stopped using him unless you know it's going to be a throwdown. He is a convenient guy to throw up in front of some people to run away behind. So you've used him as an escape tactic a couple of times.
So by Trailer Park Boys rules, he's jail cover.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. So yes, you suspect that he is in the brothel now since it's a couple hours to fight time.
I probably shouldn't go if we want me to be blameless in this.
Yes.
No, yeah, it's going to have to be me.
Keep hyping yourself up there, man.
T-shirt time! And I produce a t-shirt cannon that is the size of a real cannon, and I fire it onto the casino floor. It's like super loud. It just sprays t-shirts all over the place.
Chaz kind of turns to Andon as he's leaving. He's like, "Are you sure?" She's like, "Trust me, sir. People love t-shirt cannons." And yep, the crowd goes crazy for t-shirts.
I'm going to head up to the brothel.
So Quinny, I'm going to grant you 1 point of stress because I want to gift you something that you're going to hate. So it comes with a present. As you go to leave the casino, you have to, of course, pass your floor. And you remember that tucked deep inside one of your carrying bags is an outfit you thought you'd never have to wear again.
It's that kind of brothel, huh?
Aren't they all?
Yeah, fair enough.
How do you want to approach? The brothel is in the East Tower.
What's everyone else doing?
I'll probably join to make sure it goes smoothly.
Yeah, I'm going along.
Okay, party of 3 going
yes.
to the brothel.
Yes.
And the Forsaken selling t-shirts and hyping himself up.
Correct. So many portraits.
Is someone just hastily sketching these?
Yes.
Okay,
We
got
have
it.
2 gnomes. Well, and one of the gnomes actually caught me and Chaz talking. So we've got like a cool promotional photo of me and the casino owner that we're also selling as t-shirts now to imply that I have support, even though I don't. We don't say it in writing anywhere, but it's a photo of the 2 of us and it just says the people's champion, the Forsaken.
Yep, that's what happens. So you make your way to the North Tower and take the elevator up. to the brothel floor. Now, Alan, stepping into this elevator again is a odd feeling because, as you know, your dad has a secret office up here. Bryn, still hurts a little bit that you were blocked out of this. So both of you kind of step into this elevator with slightly different experiences and feelings. The elevator arrives at the top floor, and you recognize that this is a chain of brothels throughout Faerun called Shag Nasties.
Oh, lovely.
This particular one is run by a very glamorous half-orc named Odette, who welcomes you. She says, yes, thiefy friends, welcome to Shag Nasties, Mirage location, the best-rated Shag Nasties in the realm, and we're so glad you're here. Welcome, and there are 3 of you.
Yes.
That's correct.
Alan, you've never been in a brothel before, right?
I went with not Peter Baelish.
She walked through, but in off hours. You
Briefly.
walked through in the morning.
Yes,
Like,
that's
Briefly.
right. Yes. Yeah.
You've seen the building of a
I've
brothel.
seen, I've
first
seen the
kiss.
shell
Not a-
of the brothel.
Yeah, first
Not a
kiss.
full
Not-
operational
Yeah.
That
brothel.
was my first kiss.
She never saw penetration.
Meanwhile, back on the casino floor, we're seeing market penetration as Robert sells T-shirts like crazy.
I have a new T-shirt, and it just says "The Forsaken" and "Death Wolf." It's me and Goblin Jr.
Goblin Jr. is now painted in black and white, so he looks a bit like a Norwegian death metal wolf. Annan is placing orders rapidly for Death Wolf plush toys.
Oh, yeah.
Desperately trying to get those to market. So, Shag Nasties, it's a corporate feel. Everything's a little over plush, but oddly, the aesthetic isn't really that far removed from the casino. It's just in kind of a more pleasure-centric way. You're welcome to stow your gear and take a robe. Then they'll bring over the list of people who'll be working tonight.
We're welcome to. Is it mandatory that we stow our gear?
You won't be able to take your gear into Shag Nasties.
Well, then I guess that's what I do.
I'll do the same.
I'm going along with it.
Great. So you all kind of step into the little alcoves, get changed. Odette welcomes you back into the main room. So there's kind of a general area that's kind of a free-for-all zone for clients to go and enjoy each other's company. Alternatively, there are rooms where you can hire someone. By virtue of being here, you have access to the main room, but if you want to go into any of the side rooms, there's an additional fee, and she offers you a booklet that has all of the people working.
What does the catalog look like of people?
It's just a variety of people, humans, dwarves, elves, orcs. There's like a dragonborn.
Right.
It's
So
almost like a Tinder profile. It's just like, I like long walks on the beach. I love having a psychic yell sports facts at me. One of them is really into The Art of War by Lil Pim Pim.
I barely glance and I just point at one of the photos and say, like, that one.
And Brendan Allen, what are you doing?
I think I just want to head into the common area. I feel like there's not security in the private rooms.
No,
so
there isn't.
We need this public and we need people to see it.
And Alan?
I'm just taking it all in, really.
I think you're confused why there's a book of facts about people. Not quite putting together why you need these facts about people, or there are a few half elves in there.
Taking a close look at them. Are they clothed?
Yes, but they're all like suggestively posed. Like it's very much, I still have to be clothed, but almost not.
You're just shocked that all half elves sit in what seem like really uncomfortable poses.
Yeah. Wondering why I don't. Am I missing something?
Quinny Odette looks at your choice and says, oh, well, very good. She'll be done in just a few minutes.
I'll wait for her in a room then?
Yes, Alan and Bryn, you're led into the main area, so you go through curtains. Quinny, you're led to a room that has a diamond on the door. Odette opens it, and it's sort of like a small room with a bed, a chair. There's a washroom off to the side, and there's just sort of like gentle music being piped through from someone physically playing somewhere in the building, but they've clearly rigged it up that the sound comes through. And she says, yes, she'll be with you shortly.
Great. As she leaves, I wait until I can't hear her footsteps down the hall anymore. And then I want to go out and explore and see if I can find where Catalyst Ray is.
Bryn and Alan, you step into, it's a large room. Think like in a sauna. So there's just like kind of steam everywhere. So you can't really see everything. But you certainly see figures moving around. You can tell there's sort of a big pool in the central area. There seem to be stone benches around. You can definitely hear people getting down to business off and around. But again, it's meant to be both public and gently private. Alan, this is quite a lot for you. I mean, you grew up in a temple where everyone lived there all the time. So this certainly isn't your first time hearing sex noises, but it's definitely your first time standing in a room full of them.
Yeah.
Bryn, I think for you, this is definitely not the first time you've had to infiltrate a brothel. This may not be the first time you've gone to a brothel, but it's a corporate brothel. And I think there's something about that that just rubs you gently the wrong way.
Yeah, not into it. It's too regimented.
Just doesn't have that artistic flair. Smash cut back to the casino floor. Bobbert, Annan is reloading the t-shirt cannon. The plush toys are still going to be a couple days, but hopefully by the end of the Thiefies, they'll have arrived. You're just still signing shirts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to sell as much merch as we can because I need every fucking person wearing these. So it's a lot of doing that, a lot of posing for portraits. I've actually been going around just like flexing near tables and like trying to talk up the specials Annan suggests, like, I'm hoping that I can actually get some like good word in with Chaz. If I sort of imply that there's like a drink of the Forsaken, he can like track those sales and be like, holy shit, people are like committing to this
Forsaken
shit.
special. Yeah. You just like have a drink you always pose with. Like, I don't always drink.
I don't always drink the Troll Smasher, but when I do, I fucking crush my enemies.
After some time of this, you're signing when all of a sudden a bottle of Troll Smasher slams down in front of you. You look up from what you're signing, and there's a very slender but certainly muscled orc standing in front of you, and their insignia is literally just a thiefy.
Hello? I see you drinking my brand.
Not for me, for you. I hear you're quite the fighter.
It's true. I'm a killing machine.
Well, I'm a thieving machine. We should make a good team. And she slides you the drink.
Excellent. What's your name, new friend?
Well, I mean, names and such. You're the Forsaken.
Ah, true.
Hopefully you won't forsake my company if you win. And she leaves you the drink, nods, and leaves.
Turn to Ann and I'm like, who the hell was that?
Are you kidding me? That was Meryl Streep.
Ah, okay. I look to Death Wolf and I'm like, nailed it.
Snore!
I didn't know it would work out like this, but we've attracted some interest.
Snore, snore.
Let's kill someone today.
Snore. This is not how I imagined my day going when I woke up. Okay, so back to
This is pretty on par for me.
So back at Shag Nasty's, Quinny, you try the door and you find that it's locked. It seems to have been sort of like magically sealed.
I'm locked in my room?
Currently, yes.
Okay.
I guess I gotta fuck.
I take off my robe to reveal that I was wearing my fuck harness from the last time I was in a brothel and I was forced to wear one. And I throw the robe like in the toilet, like it can't be seen anywhere. Like I didn't come in here with a robe. And I wait for my companion to
So
arrive.
I'm going to say the fuck harness costs you 1 point of stress.
Cool.
I will
That
give you
evens
that
it out.
it's a logical thing you might have.
You gave it to him and then took it away again?
Yeah, because he wanted me to wear the fuck
Ah.
harness. Everybody wants Quinny to wear the fuck
I was
harness.
gonna say, and the fuck harness has 2 rules, which is A, Quinny looks super hot in it, and B, no jokes about him looking like a child until it's off.
Yeah, that's very important.
He is a man, a short man.
Only while that harness is on.
You're sitting there and you hear some very heavy footsteps outside, and the door opens.
Very heavy.
And a female ogre steps in and goes, this isn't... Hi, I'm sorry, are you my next appointment?
Hi, I thought you were my next appointment. Do you know where the client is?
Oh, no. Oh, they screwed up the schedule again, didn't
jeez.
they? Oh, hey, are you new here? You just in for the thiefies?
Yeah, just for the big event, that's all. Yeah, they brought me in.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, sorry. Geez, I'll talk to Odette about that. I am really sorry.
Hey, do you mind if I run out of here and use the washroom? The toilet's backed up in this room for some
Did
reason.
someone throw a robe in it again?
I mean, it looks like it. I don't want to get any closer than I have to.
All right. Yeah, I'll get the cleaning goblins in. Yeah. No, you go ahead.
Hey, thanks so much.
Can you roll me a deception check?
Oh, I'm going to use my point of inspiration to reroll that.
All right.
That 5. That's better. Total of 20.
You get the sense that she's pretty distracted by your sexy fuck harness. So she'd pretty much believe anything you say. So you leave and she goes and you can hear her ring a bell for the cleaning goblin. And then she just sits on the bed and waits for her client to show up. She pulls out a novel, starts reading.
I exit the room and close the door behind me.
Great.
And I am on the search for Mr. Ray.
Britton Allen, how are you conducting your search? Sorry. Bryn, how are you conducting your search? Alan, I assume you're just kind of standing around trying not to see or hear or smell anything.
Actually, I'm really curious. And I'm just kind of like looking around. Like I'm visibly like looking at everything.
Great. You catch a couple people's eyes and you get the sense that that's exactly what they were hoping someone would do. Like they're clearly like the exhibitionist crew.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank God, someone's looking. All right, yeah. Bryn, what are you doing?
I'm looking for Kalos. I know what pisses him off. What gets him to hulk out.
Yep.
And it's whistling.
Yep.
So I'm strategically wandering around the room, whistling a little tune.
This is like, in an action movie where like something's exploded and there's just like smoke and everyone's like moving through the smoke trying to find something. This is you moving through steam in like a weird like public sex room whistling.
Yeah. I just I don't want to get him like all the way hulked out. I just want to know where he is so then I can get Quinny to start whistling. And
so you hear a door slam and sort of a really like ropey naked guy who for some reason is still wearing a bandana comes out like quickly grabbing a towel. He's got a knife in one hand, looking around being like, who's whistling? Quinny, you see a door slam open, and the guy that Bryn described to you is there. So he comes out and he's kind of like looking around and kind of making his way into the mist.
I follow him. Do I notice Bryn in the throng of people?
Yeah, her red hair stands out pretty well.
So I motion to Bryn kind of behind this guy's back, like, this is the guy?
This is the guy. And if you want to get him real riled up, start whistling this little ditty.
I see you whistling and I'm like nodding and I start matching the tune and now I've taken over the tune and it's just me whistling. I catch up to him and I walk kind of like right past him, just minding my own business.
And as you do, you just see like, because he's a tiny ropey guy, when he has like a full body shudder, it is mighty. And you just seem like, oh, hey you, definitely adult man who happens to be halfling sized and whistling. You gotta quit that whistling.
Why? I love this song and I keep whistling. I whistle louder.
Oh, I hate that. He like kind of looks down at the knife. You can see the thought process. Oh man, he hates whistling. Can you roll me a performance check?
Total of 20.
The tune's actually pretty catchy. Everyone else seems to kind of nod along, but other people start whistling it too. And he's just like, no.
The whole room.
No, you gotta stop the whistles.
All right, fine. And I change it up to, it's probably got a real name, but like the Dink Dink song that they sing in Spaceballs, but I'm just whistling Dink Dink, na 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 na, and get everyone else in the room.
Yeah,
to
everyone starts doing it. Like everyone's still like carrying on with whatever they were doing, but like now there's just a lot of people having sex whistling.
Yep.
And he just loses his fucking mind. So roll initiative, please.
I'm a total of 9 for initiative.
I'm an 8.
22.
You see him turn and start to lunge at Quinny. What do you do?
I think I'm just not going to do anything because I want him to go at Quinny.
Okay.
Yeah, he needs to hit Quinny.
He needs to hit Quinny, yes.
Quinny, you're up in the order before Kalos. He is rushing at you. You can see he's got like a palmed dagger that he's flipped down, and it's kind of leaping at you with the dagger up.
I want to, all while still whistling, put some distance between me and him to get him into like as open an area as possible. I just make my way into like the middle of the room.
Right. So there's like a pool in the center of the room. So you kind of like make your way over to there.
Okay, yeah.
It's very central. Everyone can see what's up.
And other than that, I keep whistling and hope that my fuck harness provides me some semblance of armor class.
Oh man, there's like a 6-inch wading pool that you're in the center of. It's a psycho with a knife. All around people are fucking like mid 2000s HBO style.
Or current stars style.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's your AC?
10 plus dex, so then
14.
Yeah.
He leaps at you, and your armor in this case is more you ducking and weaving. You manage to throw some of the crinoline up to catch the knife. It just gets caught in layers of finery. He's real mad about it. But, you know, Moonstone Mask makes a good quality fuck harness. So the blade gets caught, doesn't hit you, but he's going to swing with his fist. He rolls 20. So you're going to take 10 points of damage, please.
Okay.
As he just squarely punches you right in the face.
As a reaction to that, I want to do like a stunt double, like back flip from getting punched in the face so hard. Really sell this hit.
Sure. Can you roll me an acrobatics check, please?
Yeah. 21.
You just like fly backwards in the center of the pool. There's a statue that's standard for all Shag Nasties of the founder, Shag Nasty. And you just fly back into the statue. You hit it exactly the right point. The statue shatters and falls into the pond. And you hear people be like, hey, that naked guy just punched that adult man in a fuck harness through a statue. And immediately the guards are rushing in. What's funny is they're all in the robes, but you can tell that the robes like clink as they go. So they're clearly like chainmail reinforced robes. And they just fucking tackle Kalos to the ground.
All right.
And start beating on him.
I start making a scene.
This is an outrage. I would like to speak to the manager.
This has ruined my vacation to the Thiefies.
How did the dagger get in here?
Immediately, Odette comes rushing in. She's like got coupons she's handing out.
Free BJ, free BJ, free BJ.
And then she sees someone and she's like, free back rub for you.
Yeah.
The ogress comes out and she's like, I am so sorry. This should never have happened here. It's your first day. I mean, Shag Nasty's normally isn't like this. It's actually a very good place to work. Benefits are great.
I'll have you know, I have a very particular fetish, and it is to pretend to work at a brothel. And I run back to where we stowed our equipment, grab Alan's VIP token, and say, I came here for a good time. Would you like me to go back and talk to, I don't know, Avalon Riker about this? I am one of his esteemed guests.
The ogress is like a fellow prostitute and was just sharing her pain. She's really hurt that you're actually a client, because she feels like you rejected her based on her appearance, which is a real bummer for her. So she just kind of like, with a tear in her eye, says, I thought we were friends, walks away. But Odette is like, I am so sorry, sir. I remember meeting you at the door, and I didn't realize that you know Mr. Riker. I am so sorry. We can make this right. She claps, and like everyone kind of comes out. She's like, take your pick, literally anyone you want. You know, I'm retired, but whatever you want, sir. How can we make this right?
I say him, and I point to Kalos. And right there in the middle of the fucking pond thing, I take off my fuck harness and I throw it on the floor in front of him and I say, put this on. And now I'm just naked.
Can I sidle up to Quinny?
Yep.
This might be a good opportunity to get an extra soul orb. You might be able to demand that.
Yes, what she said.
Odette looks really under the gun here, and you can hear like some commotion from the front. Chaz storms in right as you're yelling all of this. She's like, the two toughs are like putting Kalos in the fuck harness to parade him around and embarrass him.
Yep.
Chaz is like, what the figgity fuck is happening in my brothel? And Odette is like, sir, we've had a bit of an incident. Wait, that's the fucking fighter guy. She's like, I'm so sorry. He just flew into a rage. He broke my statue. I'll have to get another one from corporate. And Chaz is like, this is unconscionable. And as Kalos is being paraded around the fuck harness, Chaz is just falling around, kicking him in the ass. And he says, wow, this is egg on my face. Yeah, you want his soul orb? It's not worth anything to me. Sure. Fuck him. Then he pushes him over. They pick him back up and he pushes him over again. And as he's watching the fighter get dragged, he's like, also, tune in tonight for the big fight where our new champion, the Forsaken, will be facing off against the Fighters Guild. It's going to be a good fight, everyone. Don't forget to buy your t-shirts. And then he walks out muttering like, people's champion, god damn it. And he leaves.
Quinny loudly announces, well, I'm appeased, and walks over to get his equipment and get dressed and leave.
Odette turns to Alan and says, so I understand that we ruined your time at the Thiefies. How could we make it right for you?
I also want my soul piece back.
Well, you weren't attacked. You're just vaguely inconvenienced.
I was attacked emotionally. I have suffered so much damage.
Ma'am, I don't see a VIP token around your neck, so I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Look, I didn't want to break this out, but Avalon Riker's kind of my dad.
Listen, I know Bryn, and you, madam, are not Bryn.
Yeah, no, I'm his other daughter.
Sure you are. We have 5 of his sons and daughters working here. It's a very popular fetish. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. And she like snaps to the guards.
I use charm person.
Fucking hell, all right. So she has to pass
She has a wisdom saving throw.
I never know what Alan's going to do.
It's crazy.
So you throw charm person on Odette, and she just kind of blinks twice at you. It's like swallowing a pill dry. She's just like, "Mwah." And then she looks at you again. She's like, really? Charm person in a brothel? That is the most used spell in here. Get the fuck out.
Okay, so I step in at this point, and I come up to Odette. Hi, I'm sure you know who I am.
Well, okay, maybe.
You've done a really great
thank
job
you, Bryn.
with this.
I mean, you know,
the steam might be a little too much.
I was telling them that the steam goblin really pours it on hard.
Yeah, it makes it harder to, browse. Listen, this is my newly surfaced younger sister.
Oh shit, really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So she's not lying to you. She just doesn't know how this brothel thing works. She's just
I'm so new.
Wow. I'm sorry as well, ma'am. And your percentage of the franchises will, of course, be forthcoming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss McNasty.
I was going to ask, is Bryn Shag McNasty?
So she quietly passes you the day's take.
How much is in there?
It's a big day, so I'm going to say 1,200 gold.
Great.
So having successfully completed yet another brothel adventure.
I'm pretty embarrassed.
Have you never been to a brothel before?
Once, but it wasn't really open.
Oh, we're going to have to bring you back. Give you an education, my friend.
An education in what?
You guys exit into the elevator. You're able to regroup.
Let's fucking do this.
With fight time closing in, Butthole, your Bobbert, this is harder than saying not Peter Baelish.
I know, right?
Constantly.
Yeah. Can't believe how accustomed I've become to
The word
calling
butthole.
an individual butthole.
Yeah, it makes
Bobbert is the weird name.
Yeah.
So you're taken down into the holding area. It's like a classic like pre-boxing thing where it's like a tiny locker room where you can like tape up and all that. You're allowed to bring 2 members of an entourage down with you.
Great. I got to bring Death Wolf.
Yep.
That's like a given. And then I don't know if we want any of this party actually affiliated with me.
Yeah.
So as my head of merchandise and arguably manager, I want an in like a suit.
Yeah, she switched out of the robe to like the power suit. She's got Forsaken stitched in red across the back of it.
Yeah, and like her hair now is like shaved on one side of the head, so she looks like the camera person from the third Hunger Games movie with like the tattoo. Like she's so fucking cool.
Her thaumaturgical cell phone now has a Bluetooth connection, so she can just walk around talking to herself.
Oh, as it should. As it should. But she also has water ready and a stool, just in case I need like an old Mick moment from Rocky.
Yeah, she's a cross between Mick and Paul Heyman from the WWE.
I'm excited.
Yeah, great. What are the rest of you doing then? The arena has been fully formed. The doors are open now. What was just sort of a large pit of sand has now become a very ornate, sort of classic, think like fancy HBO boxing arena, so very well lit.
What else do we need to figure out, guys? I mean, with all eyes on the fight, this is a good time to finish off some of the things that maybe we haven't got completely figured out.
I feel like Alan should probably see if she can watch the fight with Dad.
Are you up for that, Alan?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I might go up to the top and see if I myself can assess the situation with those airships.
I'm not sure what else I can do.
What was on your mind? What were you thinking when you made that suggestion to get Kalos' soul orb?
I figure it'd be a nice bargaining chip.
Where
But
is
it's also
Kalos
just-
right now? Could probably get him to do almost anything we wanted if we've got his soul in our hands.
That's true. I can go talk to him.
I give Bryn the soul orb.
To recap, Quinny, you're going to investigate the airship docks, possibly to find a way out at the end of the heist. Bobbert, you are preparing for the fight with Annan.
Yeah, basically, I've got Ann and Goblin Jr., known as Death Wolf, and we plan the entrance for them, and I send them out because it's going to be like they meet me at like the end of the walk up.
Yep.
And I have just taken a knee. I've got my helmet off and held under my arm, and I've got like a black cape hung over my head. And I've just allowed all of my sense of humor to go, and I am just focusing on the depthless pain that is a person who dedicated himself to a god who has been forsaken by that god, because this is not going to be funny. I'm going to brutally murder someone in the name of hate.
And you just take off your twist knot double dick icon and place it sadly next to you on the ground.
You are correct.
No time for dick jokes.
And I take off my unseen hand symbol, so it's just black armor and merciless death.
Great. So, Bryn, you're going to try and use your connections to figure out where Kalos is being held and to see if there's any way that you can convince him to help heist some soul stones. And Alan, you're going to go watch the fight with Dad and try and ingratiate yourself into Riker's retinue, yeah?
Yes, I am.
Bobbert, you're looking down the entrance hallway. You can see Annan and Deathwolf are standing by. You can hear like applause and cheering. Riker from the upper booth has a thaumaturgical spell running, so he can be the announcer for it. And he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fight Night." And there's huge applause, everything else. So as you know, there's been a slight change of program. One of our thief fighters got a little handsy with the wrong people, but you know, it's not the first time. It's not the last time. And as you know, the thiefies are all about tricks and turns. And everyone's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. So, in this corner, the new challenger, on behalf of the Wanderers and the Thieves Guild, the one, the only, the Forsaken.
And my focus has created such darkness that it's affected the mind of the psychics. So the sky goes dark. And on the walk out to the pit on my side, Deathwolf and Annan are at the front. And they're just these like circular fire pits leading the way up. And they just light one at a time from the back. And I have a band of goblins who are off to the side.
Like
who just
running
like
and lighting them?
They ring a bell. And then it's just thaumaturgical electric guitar starting like Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train. But it's just like bong, bong. And then I just start walking out past the fire, slowly, methodically, like a terrifying robot, up to the front where I'm now standing directly between Deathwolf and Annan. And I throw back my cowl and my hood. And I place my helmet on my head. And I raise my sword to the sky. And I yell, "I do this for no god! I do this in spite of them! Death to my opponent!" Then I swing the sword down and forwards, and I drop the chains, hooking my shield to my forearm, so it's hooked, but it's all loose. I'm ready to rumble.
Cool. And Annan's doing that Paul Heyman thing where she's like clapping and nodding to everyone, like, hyping the crowd and like talking on her phone. She's very important. She wants everyone to know it. Riker gets back on the mic. He's like, "Ooh, very intimidating." And we have, of course, our courtside medics standing by to revivify the loser today. Because as you know, blood sport wouldn't be blood sport without the blood. And everyone's like, ah! And representing our esteemed colleagues of the Fighters Guild, In this corner. And he kind of gestures down, and this sort of like huge hulking guy comes out of the shadows. The Forgotten's new arch nemesis. He's known for his detection and his murder. Behold, Inspector Javert! And he throws back his cloak, and he's wearing just like a very fancy French outfit. And he just locks eyes with you, and he's heard your voice, and he's like, you.
He looks just like Russell Crowe.
Yeah, so when he raises his arm, it's like really stiffly, and it barely works.
I say absolutely nothing. I am just looking at him with all of the hate I carry for myself projected onto him.
He takes off his fine French hat, and he pulls a massive warhammer off his back.
Honestly, perfect. Perfect.
All right, the bell rings, and the fight begins. So, Alan, you're sitting up in the viewing booth. Riker's very excited that you've decided to join him. There's an empty seat for Bryn, but she's not there. Chaz is up there with you. There are a few other VIPs, including Reginald. He does look alarmingly like a Walmart version of Bobbert. So he's got a couple of unseen hand goons. Can you roll me an Arcana check, please?
Sure. 21.
You're getting strong magic vibes off of a pair of people who are sitting further back. They're dressed in very fine robes, both of them, but you're getting sort of the same vibe off of them as you did off the wizard on the island.
Oh, okay.
You suspect they're part of the Plantier contingent, possibly other Plantier siblings. And then there's some other people that you don't really know or recognize. Riker kind of announces all of this. You kind of got an eye on Reginald, who seems to be watching rather closely. And what do you do?
I want to turn to Reginald. Hey, so who are you cheering for?
Well, never been one for people with hammers, so I think probably that guy. And he points to the Forsaken.
Oh, okay, cool. I know him.
Really?
Yeah.
And what's his deal?
He's pretty scary.
I've seen scarier.
I've seen him kill a lot.
Who doesn't kill a lot?
Actually, that tracks.
Riker turns to you, kind of just as the fight's starting to get underway, and is like, so, should be a good fight. Tell me, Alan, did you put any money down on this one?
No. Do you know what? I did a bunch of gambling earlier.
How'd that go for you?
Not very good at it, Dad.
Oh, Alan. Never gamble with your own money. First rule of business. Well, have you given any more thought to my offer?
I've been thinking about it. You know I'm a wizard.
Yes.
I'm not much of a thief without my magic, right?
We'd expect you to bring the magic with you. Yes.
So I just want to understand, maybe get to know some of your other mages, kind of know what my life would look like.
No, I can understand that. Once the fight is done, tomorrow I can put you in touch with some of our mages, some of our conjurers, and you can get a bit of a sense of what it's like to put your magic towards thieving rather than books. And then both of your attention is drawn back to something amazing that's happened in the fighting ring. But before we get to that, cut to Quinny. You've gone up to the top of the building. So the airship docks are very glamorous valet stands. So there are a number of airships that are now moored. They're basically affixed by ropes. They're floating next to the towers. It's hot up here, but not nearly as hot as it was when you're just straight up in the desert. Right. The winds are kind of whipping your cloak around. And you can see staff moving things, so like reloading supplies up, bringing supplies down, that sort of thing.
What's the guard situation like up here?
Most of the airships seem to have left personal guards as well as the staff guards. Okay. So, you can see an airship from the province of Akan, which is where the Unseen Hand is located. So there's 2 Unseen Hand guards guarding the gangplank up into the ship. You recognize the symbol of House Plantier. Their ship is similarly guarded. And there are some smaller ships as well, but those are kind of the 2 biggest ones.
For the Unseen Hand, I'm going to test the guards, and I'm going to try and board the airship.
Okay, you want to roll me a stealth check, please, or a deception?
Deception. I'm not trying to hide from them. Okay. I'm just trying to see how well this works. 28.
They're, a little suspicious, but also the fact that you've got the face blur on suggests that you're probably above their pay grade, so they kind of just salute, and they allow you to board.
I give them the kind of like casual salute, like, I salute you, but I'm better than you.
You sort of come up the gangplank to a rope ladder that's been dropped down the side, you climb that, and you're aboard the ship.
Okay, now observing the ship, is this something that we could crew as the 4 of us?
Not one this large. Think of this as like a proper sea vessel. It just happens to be more Zeppelin-sized than...
Right.
individual?
I'm going to go to the helm, and I'm going to stealthily try and disable the steering mechanism on the airship.
So you walk out, and it's a bunch of people waiting for something to happen. Everyone is going about their business, but there's no sense of urgency.
Right.
The captain is just kind of looking over some navigational charts, and she sees you and says, sorry, are you supposed to be in here, sir?
Yeah, I was told to check on the steering. Someone was complaining downstairs about something wrong with the helm.
And she's super offended, but Reginald, yeah, all right, sure, have a look, but don't touch anything.
I'm going to need to have a look and get in there, but I promise you I won't, So
she calls over her sort of chief engineer and asks her to watch you.
Okay.
Make sure you're not going to fuck anything up.
All right.
Go ahead if you want to roll a sleight of hand check to see if you can sneak one past her.
18 total.
The engineer is keeping an eye on you, but unlike the captain, she's fully aware that there are problems with the ship. And she knows that their duty is to the antebellums and the Tinglers, not to the captain, really. So she's watching you, but not super closely. And you're able to just kind of deftly sneak in and cut a cord or two.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I want to do then. If anyone's going to be pursuing us, it might very well be the unseen hand. So I will exit the airship.
Before you exit, she goes, so did you find anything?
Not really. Must have been a bogus call. I don't know. You know the way Reginald sent me up here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I need to say much else?
Well, thanks, I guess. And good luck. They give you a rat skull? What's that about?
I'm a halfling.
Oh.
They shit on me,
Yeah, that's fair. Your people are inferior. Okay, well, thanks for nothing then, I guess.
Same to you.
So you are able to disembark from the airship.
If it's still Quinny time, I'm going to check out one of the smaller airships, one that looks like we can crew it.
You look at some of the smaller vessels. A lot of them look thiefable and pilotable. Again, like they're not fast, but they're serviceable.
I take note of where they are so that once we come up to the deck, we can book it over to there.
So we cut to Bryn. Bryn, you've ascertained that the prisons are likely under the main facility in the basement. So you've snuck your way down there. Can you roll me a stealth check, please?
14.
You're very limited in where you're able to move because despite the fact that people are pretty much glued to the scrying pools, there's a lot of staff down here and you definitely don't belong. But you can hear someone hitting metal against bars kind of in the distance.
I'd like to head towards the tapping sound.
Okay, please roll me a stealth check to see if you can make your way stealthily there or what happens.
20 total.
There's some pretty exciting stuff happening in the fight right now. So, there's cheering, there's gasps. You use that cover to slink around the corner. As you do so, you're kind of working your way around a central round room that you get the sense is the Dreamer's Pool. You work your way around until you find kind of a small prison area. Peeking around the door, you can see there's just like a hefty dude walking around checking the cell. He seems some kind of warden. You can see 5 cells. Only 2 of them have occupants. One is the fan you recognize from before, who's been severely beaten and seems to be unconscious. And the other one is Kalos, who seems to have also been roughed up a bit and is still wearing the fuck harness.
The guard, I think I'll probably try to sleeper him out.
Can you please roll me a stealth check and then an attack?
10 for stealth.
Uh-oh.
20.
Not a nat 20.
Yeah.
Total 20.
You're stealthing your way in. There's suddenly a cheer as something dramatic happens in the fight. And he kind of turns to look and see what that was and sees you. His eyes go wide and he goes to say something. And then you leap at him and punch him in the throat. So can you roll your damage, please?
8 total.
You punch him in the throat and he goes to yell, but instead it's just kind of like a... But now you're locked in combat with him. So please roll me initiative.
10.
You punch him in the throat, he rears back and goes to headbutt you. What is your AC, please?
14.
Okay, so he will hit you, and you're going to take 8 points of damage, and he starts to shove past you and run for the door. It is your move.
I'm going to race up behind him and try to tackle him.
Can you roll me an acrobatics check, please?
26.
Rather than doing like an athletic tackle, you take like 3 running steps, jump off the side of the wall, and just kind of slam him in. And then to your surprise, 2 ropey arms come through and kind of like grab him in a choker. And you see Kalos grabbing him and choking him against the bars.
Nice.
So I'm going to give you a free hit at advantage.
23.
Yep, that'll hit. Roll your damage, please.
7.
Between Kalos choking him out and you repeatedly punching him in the throat, he passes out.
Great.
So much neck damage.
Yeah. He's got a thick neck. He's going to be okay. Bulky body slides to the bottom of the bars, and Kalos is like, "Why'd you help me?"
Because it wasn't right that you got framed in here.
You're damn right it wasn't right. All he was doing was whistling. I can't abide whistling, Bryn.
I know, man, and I'm so sorry that it happened.
I gotta say, I kind of like the outfit, though. I think I'm gonna keep it.
But listen, I've done something for you.
What have you done?
I've managed to steal your soul stone.
What? I need that
from
soul.
Guy. Now, if you want it back, you have to help me.
No, I see no downside to this. I'm in jail in a fuck harness right now. Literally anything but this would be better. So he agrees to help you try and steal the soul stones, but the 2 of you need to try and sneak out of here first.
Great.
So you have the keys off the jailer. Is there anything else you want to do in the prison before you sneak back out into the main area?
I'd like to get our beat up friend out safely if we can.
I feel a little guilty about
She feels bad about Fake Fox.
Scapegoating Fake Fox, a.k.a. Three Leaf, a.k.a. Gold Tooth.
Yeah.
The most abused NPC in our entire history. Yeah.
Waste of your time.
I just love that Quinny sold Gold Tooth out not knowing it was Gold Tooth. Like his instinct is just to betray
Just
that
to
man
sell
in
people
any
out.
form.
There is something greater at play here between he and I.
You open the cell, and this guy's been beaten pretty severely. He's in and out. Looks like you'll have to kind of carry him if you want to get him out.
Hey, Kalos, how about you put on that guard's armor?
Yeah, all right. So he puts it on over the harness because he's keeping that harness.
He's keeping the harness.
The armor is far too large for him, but he's like puffing out his chest as much as he can to try and fill it out.
Good man.
Yep. And then what do you want to do about Fake Fox?
Probably have to tie him up and pretend we're taking him to his final rest.
Callus throws him over his shoulder. Can you roll me a deception check, please?
22.
So you start very confidently walking out. Everyone kind of turns in surprise, but the two of you kind of make a horrifying looking combo. And this guy, the fact that Chaz was down here throwing punches earlier, everyone's like, yeah, this guy's...
He's done some bad shit.
He's going down. So they kind of wave to you. You can tell that a bunch of them placed bets on the fight, and they're like really worried about the thing that just happened, and they're not sure if that injury will ever heal properly, and that's a horrible thing to watch. They nod to you and let you go. Speaking of injuries, cut back to the fight. So you have your sword up. Roll initiative.
12.
So you are up first. Javert is stepping into the ring. He's got a buckler on one arm and a giant warhammer in the other.
Nice. How far away are we from each other?
I'm going to say the ring's about 60 feet wide. It's a large space.
I'm going to go, but only like 10 feet forwards. And I mean, essentially the bell goes and it's just like Kane and like the giant guys where they just walk forward and don't give a shit about the pace. And then what I'm going to do when I stop is it's going to be a full body throw of my sharpened shield a la God of War or Captain America right at the other champion. And simultaneously, I, having focused for so long, unleash all of my hatred of myself, summoning a power I call Hate Cloud, which essentially is every movement I make is an attack. The power, what it does is 15 feet in all directions around me. Any affected creature, which would obviously be that motherfucker, his movement is halved. And when they enter it or start a turn inside the field, they have to take a wisdom saving throw. If they fail, they take 3d8 necrotic damage, half if they pass. And I'm simultaneously going to throw the shield. And I've got the chain, so it's one of those where I get to throw and yank back so I can throw again. The shield strike, 14 to hit?
Nope.
That's fine. I yank the chain back. I remain completely silent and just wait for a coward to move.
He raises his arms to the crowd. People applaud. And then he just charges you. Once he's sort of closing distance, you see him just spring up into the air. And he's coming down wielding the hammer two-handed. But he will, of course, fly into your hate cloud first. So he has to roll a wisdom save.
Yeah, he has to roll a wisdom save.
He makes his save.
He takes 12 damage. And I don't know how fast his movement is, but his movement is cut in half. So there's a chance that just with me spinning, he wouldn't actually be able to get to me.
He leaps up through the air, his majestic Russell Crowe hair blowing in the breeze. But then, as soon as he gets close, you just throw a bunch of the sand from your crotch up into the air, and it's soaked in.
I think I'm even more violent than that now. Butthole's not cute anymore, so it's literally yanking the chain back when he hits the air to get the shield to me. Mm-hmm. I clip his legs out from under him with the chain from behind.
Sure, it's one of those things where he was jumping straight up. Clip the legs, so he just spins, and it comes down into a superhero ground punch. He's close to you, but he's not at range because you cut his movement in half.
Sick.
And he looks up and he's like, touche.
I mean, that's what Ryan says, because Butthole is silent, almost like Kylo Ren, almost crying, a human animal. He's just fueling himself on the dark power of his own self-loathing.
Right, top of the round.
I'm going to step in over him, and then I'm coming down with the shield as one strike, and then I have a new power that I'm calling Howl of Agony, where I just scream as loud as I can, showing him the empty void that is my soul, and at the same time, the shield comes down to hit him in the torso, and I'm bringing the sword down in a slash to try to go across his throat.
Sure, roll 'em bones.
Or no, that's called human weapon, because I just don't like myself. 20 total for both strikes.
Yep, both will hit.
17 damage for those strikes.
Jeez.
and then screaming so loud and in so much emotional agony that I'm like almost drooling. Like this would be the most terrifying sight to see from up close with me stabbing down at your knelt form.
He looks up at you. He's like, I am from the gutter too. And he swings up with the hammer and kind of like a rising uppercut.
Yeah, I've never seen that move before.
I am from the gutter too.
So he'll miss with the first hit. He swings up with the hammer, then comes down. He'll miss with the second. And then he's just going for like a boot to the inside of the knee. Fucking nothing. He is so overwhelmed by the void within your soul.
And he started his turn within my cloud of hate. So could he do a DC 15 will save?
He fails the will save. He spent his whole life hunting people like you, but
that's another 8 damage.
Exactly like you. Okay, top of the round, Butthole.
So I'm just the spookiest monster in the world. So I'm going to strike across his face with the shield from my left hand. And then simultaneously, I'm going to try to gut him with my right. And I'm going to do a full spin that involves then throwing the shield chain, but only like 2 feet to where he is to try to hit him in the head with it.
Sure.
I'm just screaming like uncontrollably. It's terrifying in that it's clearly all of my pain coming out. I would like to vote that if I win this fight, I will be called the Edgelord. And I'm going to use another power I have. This one is actually called Howl of Agony, where I can use this one twice a day, where I can yell a really dark secret about myself at this person. And it was like, my father never loved me. And he's so surprised that it adds +10 to my attack roll. And I get to decide before you tell me if I hit or not, but after I roll. So the totals on that are 20 and 23.
Yeah.
So both hit. And then let's see if shield chain hits. It is a 25.
Yep.
So that'll hit. Great. My longsword first sharpened shield hit does 12 damage.
Rage.
And the shield chain does 17 damage to his face.
Good God. Boy. You can tell it kind of from the crowd reaction, and this would be where you were able to get your distraction on the way out there. People were expecting an even fight, and this is just a slaughter. Like, you just shatter his nose. He can't sing. Why is he in this role? I don't know. He's just getting pummeled into the ground. So it's
listen, I know I'm doing spooky fight, but I just want you to know I'm really appreciating all the Les Mis jokes.
Yeah,
I know you would.
I can't respond character-wise, but Ryan is dying.
Yeah, I thought it might be. He does one of those classic like stumblebacks. No, not like this. This is not how I die. And he seems to just concentrate, take a deep breath and steady himself and get the sense they just recovered a bunch of HP.
Great. He needs to pass a wisdom save because he's within my murder cloud.
He fails. So he's like steadying himself and you're still stabbing him with your arms.
After the chain shield passes, he says, not like this. And I catch him with the sharpened elbow of the arm behind the chain shield and it deals him 11 damage.
He is wetting himself with blood.
Ugh. I didn't even do much dickheading this time. In my head, a version of me long dead, trapped in a screaming cage in the back of my mind is like, oh, that guy's kidneys are not good.
Yep.
And I only hit him in the front.
I'm looking on in growing horror because I've seen Butthole fight a lot. I've never seen this much rage and darkness.
Darkness.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be clear. Right as he heals himself, but then I catch him with the elbow, we've had the really quiet guitar licks behind, but this is where we go fully into let the bodies hit the floor, like just as this has been going.
Annan is sitting there and she's like, yes, no, those are the lyrics I want. Screamed as loud as you can. Yes, no, repeatedly. I know what I wrote. I just really need you to execute on this.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I just...
Because this, I've done better.
Yeah, I know you have. Look, he's very specific in his tastes. And I mean, if you'll note, and like they look up to like the spray of blood that just came off you punching this guy, he's got a bit of an attitude problem. So like,
I just want to be clear. You want let the bodies hit the floor, and then in between you just go, something's wrong with me, over and over.
Oh, I also need some jump ha's in there. He's really specific about those.
Oh yeah. Screaming Ted will do those.
And Screaming Ted like looks up from the Sudoku he's doing and just like nods.
He's like,
and then goes back to his Sudoku.
Okay. And he picks up a bagpipe made of human throats.
Oh my God.
We're playing this one in G sharp, Ted.
Jesus. Oh, I gotta go get Jerry's neck for that one.
So he starts swapping out the necks on the.
That's what's happened up until this point, which is why it kicks in now. Like it's late. Like it was supposed to be at the start, but now it kicks in.
Yeah, and
Oh my God.
Annan's like, I'm docking all of your pay for the late start. And they're like,
We're sorry. This episode of Dum Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, our special guest, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum Dums and Dragons.